Thank you so much for being here tonight. I basically have a list of thank yous, but it was a fantastic year for Coral and I in the ARC, and we're very proud to be up here to lift this trophy for a second year in a row as a team. Thank you first of all to the championship organisers at ARC who put on a great championship for us. They're continuing to work really hard to elevate our championship, and I think it's growing on the right trajectory, and this year's going to be a really, really big year for the sport with a pretty formidable competitor coming over the ditch to join us this year in Hayden Paddon. So we're looking forward to that and looking forward to greater competition in the ARC this year. Thank you to all the officials and volunteers at all the events we go to who work so hard to put on the events for us. It's, you know, a testament to all of them, how hard they work, that we're able to go out and do what we do, and I'm very grateful for them. And I don't always get to see them, but we try and say thank you wherever we can, but there's so many people behind the scenes who work hard on those events, so thank you to everyone who works hard on all those rallies. Thank you to my team at Neil Bates Motorsport. They always give us a fantastic car to go out and compete in, and you know, for Coral and I, it's such a privilege to be the last part of the process, I guess, because everyone in that team has a job to do. They all prepare really, really well to go to the events, to give us the best car possible, to give us the best food possible, to give us the best organisation possible. There's so many parts that make up a motorsport team, and for me and for Coral as well, we're very lucky to have the best people behind us for the job, and we always get a great car to go out and compete in, and that's really the key to us having the success that we do. So thank you to everyone at MBM. Lastly, thank you to my family. I've got my mum and my dad here tonight, and also my wife Hayley. My kids are with my mother-in-law, so thanks to the mother-in-law for looking after them tonight. But seriously, you can't do this without amazing support from the family, so I'm very, very lucky to have them, and very, very lucky to have had their support for so long. Sorry, I said that was the last thing, but that's not the last thing, because I've got Coral standing here next to me, who I should probably thank. We've been rallying together full-time for 2 years now, and it's been probably the most fun 2 years of my career, I could say. We have a great time in the car together. We really gel as a team, and I've been really, really privileged to have the greatest co-driver of all time sitting next to me for the last 2 years. So Coral now has 41 ARC wins, the most by a huge margin, and I'm lagging quite a way behind on 22 wins. But the difficulty I have is every time we win at the moment, although I get one more win, her record just gets further away. So it's not working that well for me, but seriously, it's been a privilege to have Coral in the car. So very, very grateful, Coral, and thank you for all your hard work.
It's definitely out of our comfort zone standing here in a suit. We're usually in the the dust and the dirt, and the race suit, which is our comfort spot. But I do want to say thank you to the sponsors, Transportable Shade Sheds, Metro, Geoghegan and Apex Steel. They were our majors for the year, which put us on the track and paid for the parts that we broke. But a big thing is, it's already been said over and over tonight, but thanks to the team and my family pretty much, and all the team's family. The time we spend away doing this sport, which we get the good part in the car and have the fun, but it's their support that gets us there as well. So Perry's here tonight. He's chief pit crew. He's amazing what he's done over the last 2 years for us, and been at everything, sacrificed a heap. Beck for the marketing behind the scenes, Janae for all the travel bookings, and a big thing is my brother. You know, stand up here together as brothers, pretty cool to be an Australian champion together. So we've no doubt, if anyone's had a co-driver with them, you have your discussions in the car. That I think we only come to fisticuffs twice. I don't know why we try and punch each other with a helmet on, but we did. But it's it was a big story this year, and it literally was all over at the second round at Fink. We broke the car. We nearly had a really massive crash, and broke the car and broke a part on it. And we actually pretty much gave up. We rung our team and said, "Come get us. We're going back to Alice Springs." And it's all over, but we got the bit of bush mechanic in us with some cable ties and duct tape and all stuff, and got the car going. And we launched it down and then fixed the car for another 8 hours that night and put it back on the track the next day. So just to be able to do this sort of stuff with me brother and stand up here, it's a great privilege, and hopefully it's not the last time we get to do something like this again. Thank you everyone for the night.
Good evening, everyone. Not used to talking, used to racing and putting the helmet on, but here we go. This is the second time. We won it last year, so it's an honour to be back on the trophy again. I'd like to thank Motorsport Australia for putting on not just hill climbs, but all motorsport events. It's a great privilege to be here. Massive thank you to my father, Glenn. He does all the development and work and machining and everything on the car. He gave me a great car last year, 2023, but in 2024 he stepped up and gave me an awesome car, and we used that to our advantage and finally won the championship again. I'd like to thank my wife for letting me do what I love and looking after our 2 young children at home. So that's amazing. And that's all. Thank you.
Talk us through the last 12 months, because you've had quite a lot on, and of course there is so much more to come.
Yeah, so it's been a big 12 months. I joined Monash Motorsport in Europe 2024 in August for 2 months. We travelled Europe for the first time since 2018 as a team. We competed in several Formula Student competitions in Austria, Netherlands, Germany and Hungary. And then Germany was last. We improved all the way. And then for the custom manufacturing event, we came first, which is huge. The first time in Monash Motorsport's history. So, big up.
Yes, massive congratulations. And tell us how the Girls on Track program has helped you in your career so far.
Yeah, so I was a volunteer. In 2022, I joined as a volunteer as part of the Girls on Track Oz Grand Prix program. I got to meet some pretty great people, including Hannah Schmitz. We had a nice chat, and now 2025, I'll be joining Rebel Powertrains as a production control placement student.
Wow. Well, Emmy, once again, congratulations, and we cannot wait to see what happens for you next.
Nice to see the BMW on screen there. You and I caught up toward the end of the season at Mount Panorama with John Bow kind of singing the praises of this team and so on. Just a reflection of 2024.
Yeah, so it was our first year as Randall Racing and my first year of national competition. Newcomer to motorsport, so throwing myself right in the deep end in GT4, obviously a highly regarded category, but we had a ball, ever growing, learned heaps, and looking forward to this year.
Yeah, it was a really great, opportunity and great timing to join with Shane. He's the one that made it all happen. He's gentleman by name and true gentleman by nature. He's a really good guy. I've learned so much, not only driving with him, but being around. He's a true professional at everything he does. He's, his racing record is just as good. It was really great opportunity for me to join, GT4 at the time, moving on from what we'd done in TCR, and it was an incredible year. I think it just feels like yesterday I was a young kid, trying to go to the go-kart track every weekend, watching someone like Chaz Mossad on TV, and to be in a team, that was headed up by him at Method Motorsport. It was a true pleasure. We had a lot of really experienced and really good guys on the team that just did everything they can to give us the best car and best results possible, and that's what we did. Nice
to be here tonight to collect some silverware and to sell them. And from a family point of view, I know a lot has gone into a moment like this. What about 2025 and beyond for you?
Yeah, it was a true pleasure, and a big thanks to everyone at Motorsport Australia, the people, volunteers that make this event happen, and yourself and Charlie here as well. But it was a fantastic year last year. I think the GT paddock is where I want to be. GT3, GT4. If I'm totally honest, there's a few things in the pipeline for Shane this year that means I'm a free agent right at the moment, so trying to lock down our opportunities in GT4 at the moment, and as the category's gone to its first standalone season, I think it's just going to continue to rise. So certainly where I want to be, and the team at SRO are doing an incredible job of marketing and promoting what is a truly global category. So I think being on the grid there is certainly my best intention for the year.
What did it mean to win this one, and how excited are you about the future there?
Yeah, I mean, it's very exciting what SRO is doing with the category, and to see, more cars on track, deeper fields, more competition. That's what it's all about. So yeah, very exciting.
Awesome. It's a busy year for you with so many projects that you work on from a team perspective. To be able to achieve this in a driving sense too must be richly satisfying.
Yeah, I think, Rusty, to be able to, do this with your mate, it's been 3 years for us. So, to do it with Mike, and I'm just an old guy that's lucky enough to call and drive a really seriously cool race car. So, I'm very fortunate and thankful for Mike and Lauren to give me the opportunity. And as I said, to do it with your mate is pretty special.
Nice. Can you look ahead to 2025 for us and give us an idea of what's on the road ahead?
Yeah, 2025 for us and GWR, it's been quite busy, I think. We're only in the middle of February, we've had 5 race meetings already for us, so all over the world. It's a busy year for us. I'll be parked on the sidelines as a driver, take over team duties like I probably should be. Mike's will announce his co-driver for this year in coming weeks, and it's a big year for us. 1 car in GT3, 1 car in GT4. Obviously, 4-car program in Carrera Cup, 5-car program in Radical Cup Australia, 5-car assault at the Bathurst 6-hour. Yeah, this goes on, so we've got a little bit on.
This means a lot, doesn't it, from a family perspective, and looking, as I said in the introduction there, about this team that came together, the chance for you to be a part of that, I mean, it was huge, wasn't it?
Yeah, very humbling. I mean, brand new car, brand new team. Everyone turns up to the track, they've got the data, so it's a big, monumental task, but, the bigger the challenge, the harder we fight.
How tough was it to achieve that? Looking at the calibre of the opposition, the lineup of really cool cars that you were up against in the process, and drivers.
Yeah, I mean, from the outside looking in, you think it's pretty easy, but there was a couple of tough rounds, like Queensland Raceway. We had absolutely no pace. Tail and Bend, we got second and third for both cars, but we weren't capable of winning. So it's very frustrating when you can't win, but you piece the championship over the whole year and the team gets involved. So yeah, to win as a team is amazing and very humbling.
We've heard about your co-driver and his 2025 plans in that regard and what he wants to focus on. What about for you? You and I reflected at Bathurst on some of the achievements you've had in your career, and particularly in this space. What about 25 and beyond for you? Things you might like to still tick the box on? Yeah,
I mean, WEC is very elusive. It's very difficult. That's obviously my number one goal, but if I get there, it's a bonus. If not, I've had a great career. Nothing confirmed for this year, unfortunately. It's getting very late before the first round, so hopefully something comes off. But just getting a couple of lap records during the year and winning the championship with 2 different manufacturers back-to-back has been an amazing opportunity. And big thanks to Chaz as well. He was pretty cool.
It's a big switch for me in the off-season, but I was really looking forward to the year. So to take out the 2024 Supercars Championship was an amazing feat, and it was a tough year, but really stoked to take that out. So looking on to 2025, we've just had our weekend. I'm pretty buggered after today. It was a big race, but great racing over the weekend with Cam, and for me now it's sort of all focus on this year and preparing as best I can and trying to win the championship again. And I'd like to congratulate everyone that's also won a championship or series. It's no easy thing to win, and there's a lot goes on behind the scenes. If it's family, friends supporting you, your teams, and all that sort of stuff. So congratulations to everyone that's had a win last year as well, and best of luck for this year.
I don't think there's anyone more surprised to be here than I am. Frankly, the standard of driving is getting a little bit too good. It's getting too hard to win. So many young kids coming into the category that can really push hard, and Cooper and I were separated by tenths every race, and I don't think I've ever had to push as hard as I did in a lot of those races. Definitely like to thank Garth Walden for putting his enormous boot up my backside every time I made a mistake. I think without that I would have lost a couple of races instead of winning them. It was a fight every race.
But speaking to the amazing talent that's now in the category, you've really been a driving force behind it. So what's the amount of pride to see this category going from strength to strength and nurturing the next generation? Yeah, look,
I'm 47 years old now. I've been driving for too long. I've driven a lot of cars. I've driven Le Mans prototypes, GT cars, production cars. Radical's still the biggest grin on my face. They're such a cool thing to drive. The category now is going from strength to strength. What Charisse Bristow and Steve Champion have done with it is absolutely amazing. The grid sizes are huge. The category is getting better and better, and it's just awesome to grab another one.
Amazing blazer. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much.
There was extra significance with your title in 2024. You had your own personal race with open heart surgery in late 2023. Talk us through that struggle and overcoming it and coming back stronger than ever before.
Yeah, that set me back a little bit, especially in the 2023 championship, but it was very important. You know, there was some very instrumental people in that recovery. My trainer tonight here, Phil, he's been with me for the last 3 years. He was very, very important in making sure I get back on track, and there was a lot of effort that went into that, making sure I was ready for last year. But you know, we made it to the first round and we were quite successful last year, so I'm pretty happy with it.
And you're part of the Grove Junior team again in 2025. How much does it mean to be supported not only by a supercars team, but a GT team as well?
It's very cool. I think their options worldwide in motorsport are very quickly growing, not only with supercars, but with their GT program as well that's ever expanding. So, you know, they've been awesome. Stephen and Brenton have helped me so much throughout, you know, my entire car racing career so far. So to continue with them is very special, and obviously I'm continuing this year in Carrera Cup with Alabama Motorsport for the 3rd year as well. So yeah, hopefully we can have some good results this year in Carrera Cup and see where we end up.
You were far and away the benchmark of the Pro-Am class in 2024. Victory in all but 3 races. Where does this success come from, Adrian?
That's a good question, to be honest. I guess there's that young boy that's always sort of had that racing desire deep down, and you know, later in life I've had the opportunity to go racing and made the most of it. So last year was a very good year.
And you've set some tall records along the way, leading the Pro-Am drivers and Carrera Cup's Australian history. You're really quite up there. So what's possibly next for you?
Probably looking after girls at a go-kart track, to be honest.
Not a bad way to go.
More busy every weekend. Just every single weekend I just try to improve from where I am now and just see how far I can get until, you know, the end of the day I'll stop racing. So.
Yeah, 2024 was a fantastic season after a year abroad in 2023 racing Porsche Super Cup and Carrera Cup Germany, and yeah, I think it was a year that I'll remember for many years to come. None of it's possible without the team around you and the partners and sponsors on board, but also, you know, everyone at Motorsport Australia, at Porsche Motorsport Australia, and you know, everyone that makes this all possible.
And you're the second driver only to claim more than 1 Carrera Cup championship ever, other than Craig Baird. How does that feel? That's a pretty cool lineup.
Yeah, he's got it's a tall order to follow with Beto. He's, I think, won 6 championships. So, you know, if I'm here in 7 years' time claiming my 6th title, that'll be quite good. But yeah, I mean, claiming 2 championships is no easy feat, and very proud to be here today.
Yeah, it was lots of car time, which I really liked. I did find it a bit difficult to jump between cars, but as a whole, what I learned from Chaz, I was quite easily able to apply into the Porsche and try and make both of them work the best I could.
Yeah, I think obviously very diverse range of cars that I've driven, which has definitely helped me to obviously adapt to cars and different tracks quite easily. So yeah, I think it was a great challenge this year to be able to push myself a lot more in the GT side of stuff, and it was a great challenge.
Tom, can I get a reflection for the audience here just on you know, the monochrome GT4 Championship, what it meant to you to go and to be a part of that in 24?
Yeah, obviously it was first year that ran standalone and first year for Method Motorsport, so it was pretty cool to be able to be a part of that and to be able to experience the new side of GT4 racing.
Yeah, it was very cool. Thank you, Rusty. Thank you, Coral. And thank you, everyone, for tonight, Motorsport Australia. It's a very big night, and I'm very privileged to be up here as well. So yeah, to do both in 1 year was pretty big, and I've got big shoes to fill for myself now. So yeah.
Well, I look on a wonderful picture with you and Neil Crompton and getting presented with that big check back then for a young man with aspirations of continuing, as I said in the introduction, you know, what the family name means in motor racing. It was a great launch pad for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very good, and to only continue in the future, I can only say thank you to everyone who's helped me out on the way. Mum and Dad, Paul, Morris as well, who's here tonight, and Karina. I actually made the big move up to Queensland and crashed at Paul's place for about 9 or 10 months there, so pretty sure he was pretty happy to get rid of me afterwards. But no, it was very good, and obviously Christian as well. He's been a big part of everything I'm doing now. So it's been a good journey.
In closing, let's talk Super 2, and I think some of the comments you've made today just show how well-rounded you are on this mission, right? So some tough stuff, bit of learnings this weekend, but you're already thinking about round 2, aren't you?
Yeah, just planning. Like, it was a tough weekend, and it wasn't just for me, it was for the other 2 boys as well. Joe had a good day on Saturday. We weren't really able to convert our pace on Friday into the weekend, but it's a completely different ball game. So it's just learning the car as much as I can and making sure every time I come off the track I've learnt something. No session is wasted. So it's a good hurdle to try and jump over, but I'm going to try my hardest, and should hopefully work out good.
It's a fluke. 2 championships in a row is pretty good. I was quite pleased with that. I mean, I guess firstly, just acknowledging everyone, champions of our sport, present, past, and obviously future are in the room here. So well done to everyone in the room for achieving.
And of course, it's pretty cool to be a factory Hyundai driver. You've not exactly had a conventional path into the sport. So, yeah, that must mean a lot to you as well.
Yeah, I said last year at the awards, it is cool. My parents, I tell them, you know, what goes on. I don't come from a family background in the sport. And the coolest thing they think I have is a fuel card and free tolls for my rental car. So, the racing is a benefit.
And as you speak of your parents, it is no small feat to put back-to-back titles together. Talk us through those who support you and how they get you to, go back-to-back.
Obviously, Hyundai are a massive supporter of mine, but I mean, I've had a huge amount of help when I started in karting at a later age, and all the way from Formula Ford, Listec, into Formula 3 with Gilmore, who unfortunately aren't here anymore, but my partner Lauren in the room, she's been a big help making sure I stay straight and narrow to perform, and everyone who is at HMO Customer Racing, preparing the car and making sure I have the tools to perform. I'm very humbled I get to represent them.
And Josh, while you're not on the track, you work at Focus Driver Performance and you're helping other drivers to be the best that they can be. So congratulations to you to nurturing the next generation. Why is that important to you?
Focus paid pretty well, which is...
He's been talking to Larko.
Relative to the hours you put in. No, I mean, I'm not far from Focus. If anything, selfishly, I use the facilities more than I get to give back. But I do get the opportunity every now and then to coach and I guess nurture a few younger drivers who are going through that system, and it's an amazing facility. Obviously a dirty plug for them out at Eastern Creek at the track, but it's awesome to give back. I started coaching before I properly started racing full time, so it's quite a natural thing for me, and I enjoy it quite a lot.
It's certainly an honour to receive this. We certainly don't do it for awards. It's about our sport. My sport started a long time ago, back in '74. So that adds up. Seeing Coral here, I joined the Central Queensland Motorsporting Club back in '74 just to do navigating, and I think Coral, in one of her early ones with her father Norm, back in '79, '80, around the Kilkeven area. So it goes back a long way. But my job now, or the part that I play, is mainly stewarding, and it's also looking for the future of stewarding in Australia. So it is a challenge, especially seeing that we're all getting a little bit old, and it was pretty awful seeing all these young kids get up here. It was scary stuff. But we're looking for the future, and my only advice to them is to I'm going to say do the hard yards. It's not really hard yards, it's pretty easy. But to start at the club level, work your way up, and that's what I did. And National Appointed Stewards now, all but one or two, shortcutted the program because of their exceptional skills. But most of us come up through all the different grades. So and it is fun. So we do that. Before I leave, I'd just like to thank a few people, especially in this room, the supercar team that I have the pleasure to work with at times, for their support. My old friend from Adelaide, Peter Drew's down here. I probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. And I believe that I was selected or recommended for this role. My first role at Nationals was Formula Ford, and I think Michael Massey might have had a bit of a hand in that, so thank you.
Irish born, but Australia is definitely my home. And I am very lucky to have Motorsport Australia nominate me and support me in everything I do and to everything else I want to do. My dream is really to encourage a lot more new and under 18 officials in Australia and globally. There's no reason why we can't build our motorsport family and our FIA family as well. And I feel very lucky for what I do. And I just want to share the love and joy of what we do and keep the revs up. So I want to say thank you, everybody.
This is a great honour. This is a rather rare award. I did some checking, and I think the last time it was awarded was 8 years ago to someone who most of us know pretty well, a guy called Steve Chopping, who was senior steward here in supercars. I think the last time I received an award from CAMS, as it was then, was 1991, when I was made a Member of Honour, and back then I dedicated that award to a guy called John Price. Some of you may remember John Price. He was the marketing manager for BP. And the reason I dedicated that award was because John Price taught me all about teamwork. And the reason I've been able to achieve what I've achieved is not because I've done it on my own, but because I've always done it as part of a team, and I still continue to do it as part of many great teams. And teamwork is, as we've heard tonight from so many of you great champions, teams are so important. But one of the most important teams is the family, isn't it? And we've heard about that tonight. And if I could cut this in half, I'd give half to my wife, because I wouldn't have been able to achieve it without her support and that of our daughter Aurelia. So thank you. And it's not just the support. When we bought the World Rally Championship, or when we tried to bring the World Rally Championship to Australia in 1988, the FIA, no booing please tonight, the FIA was controlled by the French, and we had to try and win the World Championship from a small country called the United States of America. And the only way we were able to get through was because of my wife being very proactive and working and manipulating those French people. So we got a commitment and we got in the World Championship in 1989. So she's not just a passive supporter, she's an active supporter in everything we do, and she's as much about Motorsport Australia as I am. And finally, I just wanted to say something to those champions who have been up on stage tonight. When I look around this room, I see many people who were champions and who have now given back to the sport. I look at people like Colin Bond, I look at people like Paul Morris, I look at people like Roland Dane and people like Ryan Story, people who have been greatly involved in the sport, but they also give back to the sport by being part of Motorsport Australia and its infrastructure. So all of you champions, when it gets time to hang up the driving gloves, put the boots away, or even before, see what you can do for Motorsport Australia, because we need you. Thanks very much. Thank you.
You know, Peter Brock was larger than life, and he was a brilliant driver. He was a true sportsman, but he was also an authentic human being, and the Peter Brock in the car was the same guy out of the car. And one of my memories of Peter was competing in Targett, Tasmania some years ago with Neil Bates and I. And we got to the lunch break on day one, and Neil was hangry, and food was the absolute priority of the moment. And so we got out to head over to the town hall to get our lunch packs. And Peter got out of his car and was swamped by his fans. And as I watched, you know, he was talking to them, he was having his photograph taken, he was signing autograph cards, and we went to have lunch. And on the way back, he was still there and he was still signing autograph cards and smiling and talking. And I said to Neil, I don't reckon he's going to get any lunch today. And he didn't. And he didn't for the next 5 days of that event. Whenever he stopped, he was swamped by his fans. And it was just amazing to watch this man with such a genuine connection to these people. And he gave his time freely, and he did it with enthusiasm like nobody else I've ever seen. So I was very, very humbled to receive this award. I'm certainly very honoured. And I think that Peter Brock was probably one of the best ever ambassadors that motorsport had.
We are genuinely blessed in this sport to have some very, very good photographers, to be among them, to learn them and from them rather, and to grab that. Did you realise what you had in that moment, or it wasn't until later when you reviewed it?
Yeah, it wasn't until later I reviewed it. There were so many photos to go through, and when I looked at it, I was like, wow, there's a lot of emotion in that picture, especially, after what the team has gone through the year, and I think that picture captures the moment really well in a moment. And funny enough, I see Todd Hazelwood in the crowd as well, so yeah, it was a really great drive and very well deserved.
Well done. Hold that microphone nice and close for me. It is a great reminder, Thomas, that it is as much a competition, and we love the cars and we love what the drivers do on track, but this reminds us that it's a human game, doesn't it?
Yes, 100%. It's, like Walden said, it's not just what you do on track as well, it's what you do off track as well, and you can see it's not just a driver, it's the team behind us as well. The mechanics, nothing would be possible without the team. There's so much that goes on in and outside of the track as well, so I think that photo encapsulates that really well.
Thanks, Rusty. It really is an honour to be up here sharing a stage with so many talented people who have achieved so much in the last 12 months. So thank you to Motorsport Australia and to the voting committee for this award. Thank you to Speed Cafe and the ownership group led by Carl Begg for entrusting me to run their website, and to the people I work with as well, like our managing editor, Stefan Bartholomew, is here tonight. As everyone in this room knows, doing your job well is so much easier when you have a good team behind you, and I've really got that. So thank you very much.
So in my world, I get to do what I do also because of a team effort. I'm very lucky to be part of a supercars team in the broadcast team, and it's not lost on me at all. I've landed in this this privileged position, and it's a little unique. It's a funny thing. I'm not a media person. I'm not a television person. I don't like television. I don't even like the media. Get that right? That's the truth. I live on a farm. I consider myself still a racing person. I feel like a competitor still. So a few years back, the fans had my back, and now I feel a deep and sincere obligation to have their back. So I turn up at every event, and I see my role is to break down, explain, dig in, so they can understand and enjoy motorsport a little bit more. And I think if we all enjoy it, we all get a little more from it. And in that thread, I want to just tip my hat to Motorsport Australia under the leadership of Andrew and Sunil. Great work. The organisation, to me, and I mean this quite sincerely, it feels fresh, invigorated, young. It's got a good future. And then a great demonstration, if I put my supercars hat on for a minute, was last night. We all saw that unbelievable race that could go down as one of the best supercars finishes in our history. And that would not have happened, and we were sweating on it, believe me, when 3 laps out, all the hoo-ha happened on the track, and the decision goes up to Craig Baird. JT was up there, the Motorsport Australia stewards, and they've got to make a call, and the outcome of that call would determine what happened. And without having to break any rules or do anything silly, they could have interpreted that either way, and they interpreted it for the betterment of the sport. And we got to all enjoy that, and I thought that was a marvellous outcome. So well done to Motorsport Australia for your contribution to that outcome. So In closing, I'm just say thank you very much. I'm part of a team also. Great bunch of people around me. I'm just a small cog in a big wheel, but I don't do this for awards. I don't have likes. I don't have a social media account. I'm deeply and genuinely humbled, and this will take pride in the trophy cabinet. So thank you very much. I'm flattered. Thank you.
It's an honour to get this award because there's a lot of young kids racing at the moment who are very, very talented, very well represented, and it's a tough gig out there. So an absolute honoured, and massive thank you to the Motorsport Australia board for choosing me for this award.
Before I let you go, I mean, we talked about some of the statistics there before, which are super impressive. You got a window into it with wildcard opportunities. Now you're there in the dream, right? The dream for any young racer to be a full-time competitor in supercars. How you're finding it? Do you allow yourself the time to sort of pause and just enjoy a bit of that too, despite all the pressure?
Yeah, 100%. It was something that like you mentioned there, the wildcard. I didn't get a chance to sit back. This is my first Bathurst, and until I got a phone call from Scott and Lachlan saying, he was one of my heroes of growing up, saying just enjoy it. That's something that I've really taken on, and even this weekend, my first, I got to go in Adelaide, but my first actual weekend as a full-time supercars driver was pretty surreal, and I think, you get all involved on the weekend and you don't actually take a step back, and until you see your name on the car, your name on the transporter, all this whole bunch of team, all these guys and girls in the team working for you, and it's a pretty surreal feeling. It's something that I've always wanted to do since I've been so young. So super grateful for the opportunity, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the career holds.
Zach, you've clinched the title from Kai Allen. It was such a competitive year, and you broke the 15-year drought for WAU. That's pretty massive. Talk us through it.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me. It's an absolute privilege to stand up here in front of amazing people that contribute so much to our sport. Big thank you to Motorsport Australia and all the officials and everyone who makes this sport possible. We obviously play the fun part in this sport, being able to drive, there's a lot that goes into it. But as you said, last year was an incredible year for myself and the Walden and GT United team. We had a great year, just managed to tick the boxes along the way, and by the end of the year it was a close battle between Kai and Aaron and myself, and it came down to the wire. So it was very, very good to clinch it at the end there.
And of course, the Bates name synonymous with success in any kind of motorsport. So for yourself to tick your own trophy off, to tick your own name on that list, talk us through what that means to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, it's very special to have a lot of family here as well. Without them, it's very, very difficult. So obviously my mum and dad, and my cousins, Harri and Lewis. They play an extremely pivotal role in my career so far. So I'm very, very thankful for that. And obviously, I've got a bunch of partners and sponsors here as well. It wouldn't be possible without them. So I'm very thankful.
Well, congratulations. You're a fantastic young talent. We'll just pass to Cody. Cody, everyone knows how competitive Super 2, Super 3 is. It takes grit, it takes determination. Talk us through your year last year.
Yeah, I guess for me, the goal from the get-go was really just battle as far up the Super 2 field as we could. So fortunately, we got into the top 10 and quite a fair way up the field on multiple occasions. But not only that, I learnt a lot. And for me to bring all my partners and supporters, sponsors, family along with me for that journey was pretty cool, and then I'm into a pretty good position this year. So it was certainly a cool season and something that I learnt a lot from to put into this year.
And speaking of good positions, pole position for you in Super 2 Series, your very, very first. Hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Pole sitter this weekend at the Sydney 500. That's a massive feat in itself. First weekend, straight off the bat. Is this what we can expect from you in 2025?
I hope so. It was definitely a good start. The race didn't quite go our way, but certainly the Eggleston team have been very welcoming, and I've learnt plenty over the last few months sort of to start this partnership, and hopefully there's more things to come. As Zach said earlier, we get the fun part of the job, so none of this is possible without all the Motorsport Australia officials, volunteers, everyone involved to make this all happen. So I guess whilst ever they keep doing what they do to make us do what we can do.
This feels like a real resurgence for you. Just talk us through that year that was after coming back in 2023.
Yeah, look, it was it was a whirlwind. The journey through the year of 24, highs and lows. We were leading the championship for a lot of it. Had a shocking Bathurst, and then managed to turn an 80-point deficit into a 40-point win at the end. So the emotions, the ups and the downs through it all was tremendous, and I still feel very lucky to be back in motorsport. I retired in 2019 out of Super 2. And Craig Dontis out of nowhere called me to replace him in 2022 in the V8 Super Series, and it led to a full-time gig again, and I'm just extremely grateful, lucky to have the support of my father, who's here today, through from karting all the way through. I wouldn't be here without Craig Dontis and so many people. So truly humbled, grateful, and the emotions that ensued after the win in Adelaide. It was a very emotional moment for good reason. So, very humble.
And the category itself is going from strength to strength. We can see so much investment in it, so even from sponsors, from more races. So, what does it mean to you to see it going from strength to strength?
Yeah, look, absolutely. Look, I mean, when I did that one-off round at the bend in 22, I could see the start of something. And, category management, Luke Cedars, Philip Iguana, everybody that's there, they've taken something that wasn't a fan-friendly product into something that has been absolutely amazing. The fans love it. They've got big V8s. It's true Aussie racing, dual cabs, and the racing is as tough as I've ever seen it in any category I've raced in. The top 10 are doing a really, really good job. And it's getting harder and harder, and this weekend it was even harder again. You've got people like Paul Morris coming back to the category, and it shows that it is going places, and it's a true testament to Motorsport Australia, all the officials, and everybody in the category as well.
We've got to talk about the fact that this Commodore was a barn find. Talk us through this.
Yeah, so we purchased the car off Jeremy's house in 2023. He put a lot of time and effort into it and found it in a barn and turned it into what it is today.
You made that sound exceptionally easy.
I don't think he could say the same thing, but a lot of effort's gone into that car, and the past year's been a fair headache with it. So a lot of success, a lot of heartache, and big thank you to Jared for making it all happen, as well as my parents. Everyone in here knows how hard it is to go racing, and financially and emotionally, it's huge thank you to them guys. This year wouldn't have happened without them.
And 7 times in the series, of course. It's grit, determination, keep going. But Garwood family, racing is really, truly in their blood and what they do. So, of course, it's down to you.
Yeah, we've all had a bit of a crack. My dad's raced in tarmac rallying and circuit racing. Mum's had a crack in rallying as well, and my sister's done some racing as well. So, we've all had a crack, and we finally got a national title, so it's pretty cool. Really,
it's just a dream year, 2024.
Yeah, look, it's to look back at 2024, you front up for a new race season for 2025. I think, geez, how do I beat that? It was a pretty epic year, and for me to be a part of the Bathurst 1000 was always a dream come true. But then to go out and stand on the top step of the podium, win the great race, there's no better feeling. I think we all saw the emotion that was in the photo before. That probably paints a pretty good picture of how I felt. But I could never describe it. It was phenomenal. But then to obviously back that up and to be a part of the Trans Am series for the first time. It was my debut season with the team, working with a brand new organisation, TFH Racing, under the banner of Brett Thomas and his commitment to motorsport. We started loud and proud, to say the least. We started with a lot of cars on the grid. We started from scratch. It was a really cool challenge, and I absolutely loved my time in the Trans Am Championship. We had a lot of fun. Had a lot of hard races, a lot of battles. There's some huge amount of talent, and it's only going to get better for the championship for this year. I think we've got over 30 cars entered for round 1 in Tassie in a few weeks' time. So the category's gone from strength to strength, and it was great to be part of it. And just enjoying my racing, it was a lot of fun.
And to seal the title on the streets of Adelaide, your hometown, I know that you were there as a boy, hanging on to that fence and watching the cars go round. So that must just make it extra special.
Oh, it certainly does. I've been through the sport now for a number of years, and I've been an avid race fan. I remember standing on the outside of Turn 8 with my sister Lauren, who's in the room here tonight. We were just a bunch of race fans. We loved our sport, and we still do today. So it's an absolute honour to be able to do what I do, racing the pinnacle of Australian motorsport in the Supercars Championship. Obviously as a co-driver, teaming up with Brody, but get to just go out and enjoy my racing. There's so many people in this room that I'm really lucky to be able to share those experiences with, have that respect, have that friendship with you people here tonight. That means a lot to me. So it's an absolute privilege, and yeah, can't wait for this year ahead. It's a big year ahead and looking forward to it.
Unfortunately, Cameron couldn't be here with us, so it's down to you to be the spokesperson, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, unfortunately, Cam was a little crook after his race today, so might be a bit heat exhausted or something like that, so he couldn't make it tonight, but...
Well, thank you very much for being here. Yeah, talk us through that final round, Bathurst, hometown glory, sir. How does that feel?
Yeah, well, it was really good. Like the year before, we had a bad accident up there, so we come back the following year to have success there was, I guess, redemption. And yeah, it was really good to sort of get it in the bag. You know, Cam's been a big reason why, you know, we've had so much success. He's dragged me along, you know. He's like the little brother. Talk to him every day on the phone, whether it's for trying to sort his life out or make me go faster, but...
What's a co-driver for, hey? And the car looks magnificent. Talk us through the people that support you to make it happen.
Yeah, so we've got Inland Petroleum. They've been a massive supporter of mine. Dawson's Removals and Bathurst Auto Glass. They're some of the big ones that have helped us, you know, maintain to keep it going. So it's a credit to them. It's a credit to, you know, Motorsport Australia and APC for how last year ran. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Andrew Fraser and the awards team for the citation. It was very unexpected, but most appreciated. Way back in 1973, when I just finished high school, I had to get my parents to sign my application to be able to get my first CAMS licence. And it's a privilege to be here 50 years, more than 50 years later, still involved in the sport. And during that over 50 years, like others have said tonight, I was very fortunate to be part of strong teams throughout that time. A lot of very talented and dedicated people. And then relatively recently, I joined a very strong team from Motorsport Australia to effectively review the national officiating program. And I joined a team that was young, dedicated, very knowledgeable, knew far more about the subject than me. And I mention that to you tonight because I learned a great deal. But more importantly, I'd like to acknowledge that Motorsport Australia provides opportunities all the time, but in particular for somebody who's been around a long time like myself, to be able to still work with a group of people like that, to still further your skills and knowledge, to still be open to new technology, new ideas, new ways of doing things. It's very, very much appreciated. And hey, it's been over 50 years. It's been a wonderful experience. So thank you very much.
Mr. President, members of the board, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. When I first received an email headed Life Membership back in December, I thought, oh no, this is a prank. This is another Michael Massey, Trevor Neumann stitch-up. But when I read into it, I realised that it was for real. I was overwhelmed to be awarded such an honour. I was thrilled to bits, and it took such a long while for it to sink in. What makes it even better is the fact that I have thoroughly enjoyed every minute of my 50 years or so in motorsport, from competing in my first motorcar in 1967 through to being appointed as Chief Steward when the V8s went to Texas in 2013. It has been a real blast, believe me, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I would like to extend a big thank you to all the people in motorsport that I've met through the years during this journey. You all know who you are. Thank you for your friendship and your understanding and your help over the years. Thank you to my late wife, Barbara, and my two daughters for their continued tolerance of my many absences from the family home. Special thanks to my daughter Justine, who has accompanied me here this weekend. Finally, thank you, Motorsport Australia. I will cherish this membership award forever. Thank you.
I'd just like to thank the people who put my name forward for this amazing award. You only do these sort of things because you love doing them. But it would be remiss of me if I didn't thank the Honours and Awards Committee and also Andrew Fraser and the board at Motorsport Australia. Having said that, I'd like to dedicate this award to a very dear friend of mine. He was my mentor, my trainer, everything that I've ever learned, and that was Mr. Barry Peterson. Barry was a very big guy, 6'4" of him, and we started off in 1966 as crowd control officials at Sandown, walking up the back straight, wearing a white shirt, a tie, and a blue reefer jacket. For those who remember those sort of things, they were a bit outstanding, but never mind. But to complete the whole scene, we had a cardboard armband given to us with official written on it, and that was just something else for me. But to top off this wonderful sight, we were issued with a rubber band to hold the armband into place. So it sort of entailed walking up and down, people keeping the crowd behind all the safety barriers, which were star pickets driven into the ground with a bit of baling twine across the top. That was the safety that they had to sit behind. As I said, Barry was a big bloke, 6'4". And I always said to him, Barry, if there are any errant members of the public, I'll be right behind you, mate, no problems at all. But also, the good thing about Barry being such a big bloke, he was a great source of shade during the hot weather. So I stuck right behind Barry. But in closing, I don't think any journey can be successfully undertaken without a crew of people, support crew. And I would love to sort of say to my family, thank you very much. You're the best support crew I've ever had. And of course, obviously, my long-suffering, good lady wife. Thank you, Joy by name, Joy by nature, for putting up with nearly 60 years of marshalling. So after all that, thank you very much and good night.
It's a bit dark here, I'm sorry about that. Thank you for the kind words and the honour from this award. I'd like to thank Motorsport Australia / CAMS for supporting me over the years and giving me so many opportunities. I'm delighted to see my motorsport mentor, hard to see against the lights, but Garry and Mineeff here tonight, and I thank them for their friendship and support. I'm also blessed with working with a lot of medical colleagues on motorsport events. It started when we just started back in the late 80s with, I guess we better have a doc, to the sophisticated medical teams that you see around us today. Most of all, I'd like to thank my family, some of whom are here tonight, for basically allowing me to go out oh so many times and not shouting at me too loudly. I was told I had to tell an anecdote about one of my times in motorsport, and as long as I didn't go too much over the top or especially go too much over time. But I had the great good fortune to attend the first Russian Grand Prix and went over with the CAMS team, as it was then, to help them run the first event. I was the Deputy Chief Medical Officer. We were sitting in race control afternoon or so before the event started, and I don't know how many people have been into race control, but it's like a tiered lecture theatre with big broad benches and seats, and down the bottom is the entrance, but it's also 50 or 60 TV screens which show every bend, corner and nuance of the circuit. Oh, yeah, I'm a bit deaf too, sorry. Okay, anyway, we were sitting there with possibly 10 Australians in the room when in comes Vladimir Putin with Bernie Ecclestone hanging out of his bum. Sorry, that's an error. With Bernie Eccleston in close attendance. Putin knew who the Aussies were, and he nodded at each of us and then said in perfect English, "Thank you so much for coming to help us." I thought, what a nice man. Why does he get such a bum rap? I've had such a blast being involved in motorsport over all these years, and I've also met some wonderful people. I was 39 when I started. I'm now 75, so after 35 years plus, it's time I exited stage left. I'll actually go stage right. Thank you.
It's a real pleasure to stand here tonight and receive this enormous accolade. It's been a wonderful career across 50 odd years that you've just heard a snapshot of. Most importantly, the last 12 or so years with involvement with CAMS and Motorsport Australia has been incredibly rewarding. It began 12 years ago with a chance discussion with Andrew Papadopoulos and later Jeff Morgan after I returned to Sydney from 10 or 12 years working in Asia when I was sounded out for a board role. Being the only accountant in the room, that quickly turned into chairing the audit committee, as it usually does. And it was obvious to me that here was an opportunity to do something that I was passionate about and that I had a great interest in and would enable me to give something back to a sport that I've loved for a very long time. No one volunteers for any reason other than to, passionate as it is, to give something back. You don't go into a role like this or like that one with expectations of any reward. My situation played out quite differently. I had tremendous rewards. I had the reward of working with a group of passionate professionals over an extended period. I had the intellectual stimulation of working on problems, of working with teams, and most importantly of all, I think, the personal satisfaction of doing something professionally rewarding and something that was very certainly worth doing. I'm delighted, as I said, to be here tonight to receive this accolade, and I thank the committee and all those involved in bestowing it very much indeed. Thank you.